Good day everyone. Welcome to massive open online course on cartographic techniques. Today we will be learning about labeling and measurement in open source GIS softwares. So this is what we will be learning today. First, introduction, why we need to do labeling, why we need measurement tools, then types of labels, then what are the measurement tools available, the linear measurement, area measurement, how to calculate perimeter, how do we take radial measurements, and so on. And if we have a large database, let's say we have layers of hundreds of polygons, hundreds of forests, we can't take it manually, right? So how to automate it and take it via field calculator. These are the things we will be learning today. So first, why it's essential. Labels and measurements are essential elements of map design. Similar, labeling provides us with descriptive information, such as if we have a road network, which road is what, where the other road is leading, every information we can get it via label only. Second, by measuring tools we can have accurate measurements of distance, area and perimeter accurately. Types of label. For points we have cities, landmarks, we will be having point labels, and for rivers, roads, railway networks we will be having labels placed along the curves or along the paths of roads, and for polygons, that is our boundaries or area, we will be having district such as district names and population info. We will be having this label placed in the centroid, that means the center of the polygon. The measurement tools in open source GIS softwares. First is distance measurement, in which linear distance between 2 points, point A and point B. Next is the area measurement, how to calculate the area of polygons, area of forest, lakes and other polygon bodies. And perimeter measurement, suppose we have boundary area of forest or some other boundaries, how to measure the perimeters. And angle measurement, the angle between two lines or the bearing with respect to north. And after that we will be looking into field calculators. All these things we will be doing it in OpenGIS softwares now. Okay, I will open my QGIS window. So in the previous class we have worked with 57N8, correct? So I will load the data 57N8, so remove this query. So whatever data is not required, we will just remove the layers. Okay, so first we will start labeling with the forest names. So first we will go open forest attribute table, open attribute table. Here we see here the forest is just having IDs. So what we will do, we will add one more column, toggle editing mode. This will enable the editing. Next, here we have new field option, right? So we will click on this new field, name of forest, or we will just write forest name, type it's a text, okay, length we will increase to 80. So now if we zoom in, here we can see the name of the forest, correct? So we will again come to our attribute table, we will select this forest. So yeah, so when I selected the second one, our selection has happened, right, correct? So what we will do is, we will just enter this name as it is in the forest name. Salivendra extension reserved forest. Same for the first one, we will look into this name, we will enter in attribute table. Save, edit, save. So now we have added the names. We'll come back to properties. First we'll deselect this selection, properties, symbology. We'll increase the transparency now. Okay. Apply. We'll come to labels, single label, value, forest name, and we can change the label, the font, style, the size, everything. We'll change it. We'll come to this part later. Apply. Invert selection. Now the selection has gone. Save, close. So now we can see that our text is in black and it's getting blended with dark colors in the background, correct? So when this happens, what we can do is either we can change the color of the text, or if our background is having somewhat mix of lighter and darker colors, what we can do is we can add a buffer to our text. We'll again go to properties, we'll make the text bold, and here in mask a buffer, we can enable this buffer. We'll give some distance 2 millimeters. Okay. The color of buffer white, opacity 100%, apply. So what this will do is this will make the text more highlighted from our background map, from our base map. An attribute table. So similarly in text, here we can change the font style. Keep it open sans as of now. We can increase the size, make it underline, and the size here is in points. Okay, we can change it to millimeter, pixels, inches, or other units as well. As of now, we will go with points. Color black, opacity full, apply. So we have added buffer. Similarly, we can add a mask to both are almost same. So buffer, mask, background. If we want to add drop shadows, we can do it to make it more highlight, make it more visual. And the placement, this is the main. If we come to the placement, as we have learned, for polygons it should be in the centroid. So here the mode is around centroid. We can keep it off the centroid, free. We can use the perimeter to place the text, or we can place it outside the polygon according to our need. Okay, we will place it around the center, near the center. So this is the priority. So if we set it high, so mostly it will follow the rule. If we set it low, it will, to place it itself in the map, it will adjust itself a little. Apply. Okay. Okay, so this is how we add labels to our spatial entities. So now we will move to simple measurement tools. So for that I will just hide this label for a while. We will go to properties, labels, no labels as of now, apply. And this forest area also we will reduce the transparency, we will reduce the opacity a little, apply. So now here in map, if we see in our QGIS window, here there is a ruler tool. Here you can see the ruler, right, wherever I have highlighted. Here there is a measure tool. So we can select the tool and do some basic measurements. So what we will do is, I am selecting the measure tool and it has a drop down next to it. If we go on the drop down, there are multiple options. If you want to measure the path, the road, or distance between 2 points A and B, we will go with measure lines. and if we want to calculate the area of polygon, we will go with measure area. And if we want to measure the angle between roads or angle between two spatial entities, we will go with measure angles. And if we want to take the angle with respect to north of a spatial entity, we will go with measure bearings. First we will start with measure lines. So when we click on measure tool, it will open us a new window. So now we will come down, we will trace along this road to measure it. So point A, point B, point C, point D. So wherever we are marking the point, from point A to B, the first length is in 267 meters. From B to C, it is 134.3 meters, and from C to D, it is 181 meters. Okay, and D to E, it is 1274 meters. So here we can see the segments, correct, the meters. If we want to change it, here we have the unit, we can change it to miles, to kilometers, or whatever units we need. Okay, from this drop down we can change that, kilometers. So we will go on marking to get the total length of the road. We go on marking along the road. Each segment we are getting a different value, and we are getting the total as well of whatever road length we have marked. We are getting the total value of it, and each segment which we are marking, we are getting a separate value for that too. So the total distance is around 8 kilometers. So now we will clear this, close. Now we will move on to the next tool, that we will go on to measure area. Measure area. Now we will take a measurement of this forest body which is present over here. Start with this end. We will go on marking the area. So this is the rough estimate of the area. We will change it to kilometer square kilometers, 67 kilometer square. Okay, so this is how we take measurement for area. Next we will move on to angles. Measure angles. So we have set up the first point. So we have set the first line, and from here wherever we move our cursor, it will show the angle. Okay, this is the baseline. From here baseline, and yes, you can see the angle changing, right, as we move the cursor. This is how we measure angles. And next, if we want to measure the angle with respect to north for any spatial entity, what we will do is, we come to this measure tool, measure bearing, select a point on the map, make a left click on the map, and now whenever we move our cursor, the whatever value angle values we are getting, right, this value is with respect to north. This value over here, if you see, it is with respect to north. From this point, see, now I am facing north, it is 0.9 degree towards west. As I move towards east, it's inclining towards east, 20 degree east, 51 degree east, 90 degrees, and so on. And now 180, and after 180 it has moved towards west, 175 degree west, 140 degree west, 76, 49, 25 and 0 degree. But this is how we calculate bearing in QGIS. So these are some of the manual calculation. So now we will look into field calculator. Let's say as of now we just have 2 polygons over here, and we have seen how digitizing each polygon is taking time, correct? So let's say we have 10 or 15 forest areas which has polygon. So for each thing we can't go and mark all over the area to find the forest measurements, correct? So as we already have the polygon made, so we will see how to calculate the area from the existing polygons or existing spatial entities. For that we will go to this forest area, forest shapefile, right click, we will go to open attribute table. Here we have 2 columns, correct? One is ID, other is forest name. So what we will do is we will start toggle editing. We will create a new field for area. Area is a decimal number, correct? Real number. So we will go with decimal type, and we will increase the precision to 6. Area. And now next to this new field, delete field, here there is an option for field calculator. This is your field calculator, and this is your delete field icon. If we don't need any icon, we will delete it. And here before that it's new column. We can add more columns, delete column, and the third one is the field calculator. So we will click on this field calculator. See, now a calculator has been opened, correct? So we have already created a column for area, so we don't need to create a new field. We can go with update existing field. So we won't be creating any new field, we will update the existing field. Which field we want to update? We want to update the area field, area, and we have to write the expression for finding the area. So for this we will come to geometry. Here in geometry we will select area with the dollar symbol. See, here there is a brief description of what this function does. Returns the area of current feature, the calculated area. So we will double click this to select. See, for feature 1, this is the preview, this is the answer for the area, okay. So we will apply this, okay. So here we have got the area, but there is no unit with this, correct. So to find the unit, what we will do is we will go to project, properties. Here in general tab you can find units for distance measurement and units for area measurement. So whatever distance or area we are measuring, everything is in meters and meter square. So whatever values we have arrived here, it's in meter square. In attribute table, whatever values we are having, it's in meter square. So if we want, we can change it. We will change this to kilometer square kilometers, and even distance, okay, distance we will keep in meters. Apply, okay. Now again we will go to attribute table. So this value is in meter square, okay. So we will come here, delete this field, area, okay. Now we have changed the unit, correct. So we will calculate the value again in field calculator, open field calculator, create new field, field name area, decimal number, again in geometry we will select area with the dollar symbol, apply, See, now this is in square kilometers. 68 square kilometer for the first one, 393 square kilometer for the second forest. Okay. So similarly, to find lengths, what we'll do is we'll come first. So once we have stopped working with the layer, the first thing we'll do is we will save it to avoid confusion. If we keep the layer in editing mode, so by mistake we can, instead of digitizing some other layer, we will be digitizing in this layer, will be creating confusion. So once we have done working with the specific layer, what we'll do is we'll save the changes and stop editing. Save. Now we will come to road network, enable editing, open attribute table. Here we have the ID and the code, correct. So we'll add new field. We will go to field calculator, create new field, name, length. The field type decimal integer, precision we will increase a little, and here again we will come to general, geometry. So last time we calculated area, right? For length, similarly we will be having a length with a dollar symbol in front. We double click this, length. So this is the length of each road. So if I want to see which road is what, I'll just click on the attribute table over here. Here we can see, right, it's marked in yellow. So this road length is 13,000 meters, right, that is 1.3 kilometers. Similarly, the second road, this road is 2,477 meters. So we close this. So see, I have closed the table, but still it's yellow because it's still selected. So what we'll do is we'll again go to the attribute table of the road network, open attribute table, we'll deselect this, control and select it again, it will deselect it, save the changes, save, close this. Okay, so this is how we do measurement. Now again coming back to labeling, we will label this settlements now. If I go and check the attribute table over here, we have the ID and name of the settlements. So we already have the names of settlements. So we will just simply go to properties, labels, single labels, what value we have to give names, correct, name, placement where we want to place it, okay, cartographic mode. So now we can see it's getting blended, right, we can't read the name correctly. So what we'll do is we'll increase the text size and keep the mask to the text. We'll go to properties, text size we'll increase a little, 16, apply, and we'll add a mask to it, enable mask, apply, settlements, attribute table, properties, buffer, add a buffer, apply. So now the text is more readable than before, correct. So we can make it bold to make it more visible and more easy to read to the users, and if our text is in lighter color, then we will make our mask a darker color mask to distinguish between the labels and the other entities of map. So what we have seen till now is, we have seen how to do simple calculation using measurement tools, and how we can make edits in attribute table, how we can find lengths of roads, lengths of areas of forest when we have more data, how to do it, automate it, and the importance of this essential tools. Thank you everyone.